Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser Streaker, and more. Why so many places? I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness, so there's no gossip, no scandal, and no K words, no Kardashian talk at all. In fact, I'm balancing out all the bad news out there. No talking about headlines because they are all bad news. If it bleeds, it leads. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So I have topics and guests to that end and very special series. Yep, it is Wednesday time for Doctors in the House with myself and
Dr. Tiffanie Tate.
you can always tell it's Wednesday because you got two doctors here who are very interested in helping you claim your birthright to happiness. I'm the PhD, which just means piled higher and deeper, and the lovely Dr. Tiffanie Tate is the MD. She's a board certified OBGYN and so much more. Welcome back to the show, Dr. Tiffanie.
Always a pleasure to be here. I love Wednesdays because I get to spend my morning with you.
Yay! And we're going to have breakfast together, taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. And I'll start by saying I'm so grateful that I have the means of broadcasting remotely live. I'm currently in the hallway of a medical building. I had an ultrasound on my leg just now. It was supposed to be a 40-minute, and they told me when I went in at 8 a.m. that it was actually a 90-minute. So I was scrambling, but she was very efficient. The good news is I was done in time to start the show. The bad news is I'm not allowed to leave, which is not a good sign. I have a PTSD of 1996 when they found a blood clot. And, I'm going on world tour and supposed to fly out on Saturday. And the doctor was concerned about the swelling in my legs. So we're just wiggling our fingers, please. Let me be able to continue world tour. So we'll see. I may have to jump out for a bit, but my very capable co-host, Dr. Tiffanie Tate, will be here. But that is the first very grateful thing that I have is the ability to broadcast from anywhere. What's
That
your
is
gratitude?
That is a very, very fabulous. I am too grateful for Dr. Mercer being okay so far, but I am very grateful that I have been able to spend time with both my children because Nathaniel is home for the summer for a little bit. And I have had a wonderful experience thus far, and I love spending time with my children. So I am grateful that a lot of times people are like, oh, my kids are home, but they're both young adults, and I'm happy to have the love of both of them.
Wonderful. I am grateful that let's see. That I know no matter what, everything's going to be okay. That no matter what happens in life, even when I don't like it, eventually, a year knows what a day doesn't. Whatever happens, something good will come out of it. Something that is always for my divine and best good, no matter how it looks right now.
Yes. And As I've been announcing on the show, I am running for the United States House of Representatives, Congress, yay me. And I hosted my first fundraiser at one of my friends' homes. And I am grateful for her friendship and for her showing up. And I am grateful for her reliability and her dependability.
Awesome. I am grateful that my younger daughter and her boyfriend are here for a couple days. Actually, they leave today, and it's just been wonderful. Like, I gave him the mom inquisition, and he passed with flying colors. And the interesting thing is, his name is Graham, the same as my bonus dad. So we had a s'mores meal on
Hmm.
Monday night. We had two graham crackers on either side, and then I'm the marshmallow, and my daughter's the chocolate.
Ah, cute.
Oh,
I
what more
love it.
gratitude?
And I am grateful that we had the opportunity to celebrate Terry's birthday yesterday.
Yay.
And we came together again as family to celebrate birthdays. And we know that birthdays are always special. So I was
Mhm.
very grateful to celebrate Terry's birthday, little Terry. Well, he's big
Oh,
Terry, but little Terry.
that's great. Have I met Terry?
Yes, that's Tasha's son.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. At a couple of different parties I've met
Yes,
him at.
yes, yes, yeah. Yeah.
Yay. Happy birthday, dear Terry. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Terry. I know you're used to having your aunt Tiffany sing, so this is not as usual. So
I'm sure he loves all the extras. He is very he's a very thankful youth.
oh, yes, yes, he really is. All right. I let's go to the bottom of the bun. The bottom of the bun is gratitude turns inwards, or otherwise known as appreciation. And the reason why I do this every weekday morning is because I want you to use weight training on self-care, self-love, and the foundation of good mental health. So what do you like about yourself is the question, so that you can overcome all of those negative messages about, don't toot your own horn, or you're not all that, which is all BS, a belief system from well-meaning, more mean than well, caretakers or parents. And we really do love to know the goodness that we are, because from that place you're going to have much more fun life if you're not constantly looking for other people for approval, and looking for love in all the wrong places. So what do you like about yourself, Dr. Tiffany?
I like the fact that I can unify people because sometimes groups fall out and people fall out. And I like the fact that I can help diffuse situations and bring people back together. And a lot of times it's just due to misunderstandings. And I like the fact that I can help diffuse misunderstandings and help people communicate.
Beautiful. Yeah, I call them missed understandings.
Right.
Uh, I appreciate my ability to recover from whatever it is, whether I'm not feeling well physically, emotionally, spiritually, having a dark night of the soul. I know that how dark it is before the dawn, and that I know that everything's going to be okay in the end. And if it's not okay, it's not the end.
Hmm. Very beautiful. Absolutely.
Thank you.
And I like the fact that I am aware of my own identity.
Mm,
I don't let people impose their beliefs on me per se, because a lot of times, especially now, people want to label you. And
Mhm.
I choose to identify myself by my own strengths, by my own beliefs. Not to say that I don't hear people, but
Mhm.
I know who I am, I know what I am, and I know what I bring to the table. And I find strength in that.
Beautiful. One last one for me is I appreciate my ability to find the funny. So, in every situation, whether it's something funny I can laugh about myself or someone else without them knowing, maybe, that's laughter is my very favorite sound on, in life. So,
Laughter is healing, it's beautiful. I love it.
it is the best medicine, honestly. All right. Thank you for joining us for breakfast this morning. You can complete the 28-day good habit making of this practice by joining me every weekday morning on KCAA, AM/FM, and live on my YouTube TV channel. So you can free subscribe, give me the finger, this one, not the other one. And that way you can continue to exercise your muscle of self love, self care, and I promise you, if you do, you will sandwich your day in the most positive way. Thanks for joining us for breakfast. And now for the topic of the day. Let's see if I can find this without my glasses. Topic of the day.
Love and friendship.
Did it
Hey
work?
you!
Oh,
Hey!
the hey you.
Hey
Yes.
you!
Hey, you. Hey, you.
Hey you!
Yeah, I don't have my bell with me, but I'm glad I can still access the Hey You. Dr.
I
Giving,
love it.
what what is the topic for today?
Love and friendship, friendship and love, they go hand in hand and they are interchangeable and you really can't have one without the other if you want it to be valuable, if you want it to be sincere.
Mm,
Um, and I think that it's something that if you want it to last, it's something that is a necessity. Um, we know that people who have friends have longer lives. Um,
oh, really? I didn't
yes,
know that.
absolutely. Um, and so I thought it would be something to discuss because I know what I'm going through. I have had a lot of friendship support and I've had a lot of people rally around me. And I think it's important to just talk about friendship and talk about love, whether you talk about it familial wise, whether you talk about it relationship wise, or whether you talk about it platonically. So, you know me, smack it, flip it up, rub it down. Let's take a deep dive into love and friendship. I
How
remember
deep? How deep should we go?
right, and I remember growing up, there was love and marriage goes together like a horse and carriage. And so right, and so, I picked this topic just because it's relevant in today's society. I think we need more love, and I think we need more friendship. We need more kinship, and we need more sincerity. And in humankind, we need more kindness.
That's why it's putting the kind back into humankind. Well, it's a great topic. I may have to go in a bit, so I'll go first if you don't
Mhm.
mind.
Absolutely.
And because we're waiting for the radiologist to come back and tell me if I can leave or what. So let's start with okay. So love
Mhm.
in friendship, romance, and self love, or what was the third kind of love you were talking about? So, friendship love, which is platonic, non romantic, romantic love, and I thought you said a third one, but I'm going to start with the problem because it's the first half of the show, not the problem, but the temporary problem. And I have to be honest that I have not had the easiest time with the whole concept of friendship. I know that it is important, but I was not blessed with long lasting friendships, and I used to
Mhm.
get envious of people who were, once a year they get together with all the kids. They went to school together in elementary school and they were still friends and they were best friends, and this whole concept of best friends, like I have always wanted a best friend, but like friends come and go, and largely, I moved a lot or I changed whatever. And so I can remember when I first got to LA, I met somebody girlfriend who, we would, go out and go party and everything. And I thought we were really good friends and best friends. And I remember saying to her, I introduced her to somebody in my friend circle as my best friend. And after the party, she said to me, I am your friend, but I'm not your best friend. I already have a best friend. And I was so crushed and it was like that wasn't the only time that had happened. I think it had happened before a number of times, or what I felt like had happened, because I go to MSU University sometimes making shiitake up. And so I I think I've had this like yearning to have a best friend. And I can remember I had another friend that lasted 10 years. And during that time, she said, I've noticed that it's very easy for you to unfriend people. And that wasn't even a word then, but my dropping people.
Mhm.
Uh, she said, you do that so easily, and so that stays in my head. And I thought I would be friends with her for the rest of my life, but we had a falling out because I didn't approve of her. um like I got a divorce, and because it wasn't working, right? And her marriage wasn't working, but instead of getting a divorce because of finances, she stayed, but then, was making some decisions that I didn't agree with. You can read between the lines on that one.
Mhm.
And so I mentioned it, and she, said, I don't appreciate your weighing in on that. I didn't ask you for your advice, and that's true. And so I went back and apologized, but you can't unring a bell. So that ended that relationship. But so for me, the whole idea of friendship is not necessarily an easy one for me, but I
Mhm.
do know how important it is. And I have made some strides because I could call you a friend. I love you. I know you love me.
Mhm.
um, we've moved from co-host to friend co-host, and I've done that with all three of my co-hosts. So that is progress, I think.
Mhm. No,
And
absolutely.
I do know that uh, Stephen Jobs, many people on their deathbed who said, if I could have done something differently, was spent more time on my friendships and relationships than I did on making money.
Oh, absolutely, because money will never love you back. Money won't necessarily take care of you. You can hire people to take care of you. But what the research shows, because I'm the researcher and have to look
Hmm.
this up, and
Hmm.
then I'll talk about my experience, because you
Yes.
said your average relationships last about 7
Oh,
years.
perfect
And
timing. Hold on. You get
okay,
to go on stage all by yourself. Hold
okay,
on.
well,
I'm
and I'll
just going
talk
to
about the
keep
research.
talking. Keep
Okay,
talking.
perfect.
Uh,
Perfect. So, what Dr. Marissa stated is actually true because, based on the research, the average lifespan of a friendship, one study shows that friendships have a half life of about 7 years, meaning that half of your friends will be new ones after that period. And some will last 10 and some will last 17 years. And me personally, my first book, Flowetry, 108 Poetic Flows on Life, Love, and Liturgical Issues, was the cover was designed by my best friend from elementary school. And she is an artist and she's also a PhD. She has a PhD. And she was my best friend from elementary school. So while we may not still be best friends, we still stay in contact with each other. And I was able to reach out to her and have her design the cover of my book. So I think there are exceptions to that because, hey, I'm seasoned and we still have contact with each other from elementary school. So we are an outlier to that extent. But as Dr. Mercer was stating, friendships can be a sticky situation. Basically, a friendship is a close relationship between two or more people. And I know that you can fall in and out of friendships per se. And there are varying relationships levels because I believe you can have or varying classifications of friendships. I believe you can have an associate, and an associate is someone you talk to in passing, and you may not necessarily be close to per se. And then, like Dr. Marissa said, she had someone she considered to be her best friend, but they did not consider her to be their best friend. And those are just semantics because if there are some people you can call on at any time, 24 hours a day, and there are varying levels of friendship because naturally some people are more outgoing, some people are more friendly, and some people you may not necessarily want to be close to. And that's okay. Everyone has their own preference. There was a study from the Pew Research Center, and it found that about 53% of adults in the United States have between 1 to 4 close friends, and another 38% have 5 or more friends, and 8% have no close friends at all. So wherever you fall is where you fall. It's okay. Do you, boo? And it's fine. Many people find that having close friends is essential for having a fulfilling life. Um, Best friends, it's a semantic and it's a label. I have varying degrees of friends. Growing up, I remember having a lot of friends. I was very outgoing, very social. And I'm probably still that to a varying degree. I'm very involved in multiple organizations. I'm on the board of multiple organizations and I give back to the community and I volunteer all over the IE because it's what I do. I have a heart of service and I have a heart for leadership. Everyone does what is in their heart. They give their time to what is in their heart. So, what does that mean? And what does love mean? I believe that when it comes to friendship, there are varying degrees of friendship and there are varying degrees of love. You give your time and your love to what is important to you. And I have friends who I haven't spoke with, but they know that they can call me at any time and I will drop what I'm doing to take care of them and prioritize them. And then there are some people who can call me and they will probably go to voicemail and I will get around to them when I get around to them. I think that you have to evaluate your situation and your level of friendship with each person because you can stratify it. So when we were talking, Dr. Marissa and I, we were talking about familial relationships, we were talking about platonic relationships, and I think it boils down to trust and loyalty, supportiveness, respect and acceptance, honesty, reliability. You look at the level of empathy and understanding. And so when you're looking at trust and loyalty, a good friend is someone you can tell your secrets to, someone who's going to have your back, even when times get tough. And if you can call on them and you know that they're going to be there for you and you're going to be there for them, that's great. You know that you have that level of support. Like I was telling you when I had my event this weekend, I knew that that person was going to be there for me. I knew that there are certain people who I can call on, who I can rely on. You know who you can call on and you can rely on. You have those people in your family. You have those people who are outside of your family. And sometimes the people you call your family are not always blood related. So you know who is going to be there to give you emotional support, practical support. And through those difficult times, there are people who are going to celebrate your successes. And then there are people who could care less. And you know who you can rely on. Those are the people you can call your friends. Those are the people you can call your family. And again, they're not always blood related. Who is going to respect you? Who is going to accept you? Who is going to give you the empathy and the understanding that you need? You want to look to those people as your community, and you want to look for that support, that level of understanding, that compassion. Also, who do you enjoy the company you keep? Who are you enjoying those people with? I think you want to look for the positive influence. They're encouraging you to be your best because you want to have a positive outlook on life. It's important that when we start thinking about these things, you reflect on that. I remember when I was growing up, I had a lot of friends, and then I had like a best friend pool. And my best friend, I perceived her as a best friend, but we had a group. And then when it came time for me to have my wedding, I already had a bunch of bridesmaids. I had like 7, and she got mad that I didn't ask one other person to be my bridesmaid, but I had
Uh-oh.
already had 7. And so in essence, she refused to be a bridesmaid because I didn't ask another person to be a bridesmaid.
Mm-mm.
So we fell out and she essentially stopped being my friend. So I was like, okay, whatever. And she decided not to be my bridesmaid. She decided not to be my best friend anymore, and she refused to come to my wedding.
Wow.
But yeah, I felt wow. I was like, okay, so we grew up together, junior high, high school,
Mm-hmm.
college, and all of a sudden you're not going to come to my wedding. You're not going to be my best friend
Mm-hmm.
anymore just because I'm not asking someone else to be in my wedding.
That,
I thought
yeah.
I thought that was odd,
Yeah.
but you can't dictate to me what I do.
At your
Um,
own wedding, for goodness
yes.
sakes.
And so, but the other person came. Uh, so, uh,
Oh,
yes,
but
the
but the
person,
other person wasn't a bridesmaid though. That was
no,
the whole point.
yes. And so all of a sudden, so it was kind of like what you said, those misunderstandings. And so
Mm.
all of a sudden, we stopped speaking for like years. And
Uh-huh.
then when we did speak, we never really got back together. It was like, "Oh, hi. Oh, hi." It just remained like this pregnant pause, the moose
Uh,
on the table, and I was just like, "It's not even worth trying to go back, trying to rekindle what we had because it's just over." But you see how that person never was really truly there for me in essence, because she had her own issues that obviously she probably never really liked me. And it's funny because there was this they have all these things on social media that I sometimes watch, and they're like, if they're trying to tell you what to do, they don't really like you. If they're telling you that outfit doesn't look cute on you, they don't really like you. If they're trying to manipulate you, they don't really like you. And
Ah,
so sometimes you really have to reflect on those things because they're not truly your friend. They just really want to control you. And so, like, you want to go back to this. You want somebody who wants to be a positive influence in your life, who
mhm.
really truly enjoys your company and really wants to be understanding with you. They don't need to cultivate you, but they want to be invested in your growth. And that's more love, that's more understanding.
So I have a little bit of a different take on that, only because I'm going through it right now. And that is, let me just get this done. I just realized there was something missing. Our little tick tape was missing. Um, I can look at, someone told me that friendships are like waves, you know, in the ocean, like, so friendships are like the ebb and flow, right? And that just because a friendship ends, even a romance ends, that I have a choice to say she wasn't really my friend in the first place, or he wasn't, I should have seen the red flags, and he really wasn't, the one, or, what was wrong with him. And they messed me up, or, what a waste. Instead of that, I could say, and I try to, and I am trying right now, which is why I'm bringing it up. I teach what I need to hear, which is that girl for you, when she was your best friend in elementary school or wherever that was, that season, that time, that chapter, it was a good chapter.
Mhm.
And what happened in the wedding doesn't nullify or change how good that chapter was. And I'm going through that right now because something happened, and people that I thought for the last at least 5 years were very important to me, and a real, like, strong sister kind of relationship. I was shocked by some of their actions recently. And so now I want to throw the baby out with the bathwater and say it was never what I thought it was. And I should have known better. And if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. And they lied and they misled me. And, actions speak louder than words. You can say how much you love and appreciate me, but when it comes down to actions, and like, I've just been filled with such dis-ease and resentment and sadness and anger, and it's horrible. It feels really horrible. So I'm actively working on, you know, I didn't like what just happened, but that doesn't nullify that for the 5 years prior up to this
Mhm.
point, it was a good relationship. It was a good chapter.
Yeah.
And just like when people die, and I use the Happy 88 tool, remember them whole, remember them before, whatever, before they passed, before the illness, before the tragedy, remember them whole. So I'm having to practice the same thing. I want to remember them in the good times and the good relationship that we used to have, and that all this is that chapter is over. It's not easy. And it's, I've been praying so much, please let me let it go, let it go.
Yes.
Because remembering the point of pain is so unpleasant. And I have a choice of revisiting that every hour by the hour, or I have the choice, the word, to pull myself up by the neck to 88,000 feet and remember the chapter before this.
Right. You're right. Because I can say we did have a wonderful time growing up. It just crumbled toward the end.
Right. So
Yeah.
separate out the crumble from the pie.
Yes. I will agree with you. I will agree with you on that part. Yes.
Good. And thank you for holding your own. I heard you in the background. I was just a little update before we take a break. Um, the bad news is I cannot leave, and the radiologist is trying to get a hold of my doctor. So something is
Okay.
up. I'm just wiggling my fingers now that it does not mean that I cannot fly on Saturday
Okay.
because, regardless of the tour, my mom's celebration of life service is July 5th. So I
Okay.
have to be back in Canada for that.
Yes, you do.
So let's all wiggle our fingers. That's my
Mhm.
good luck thing. And but oh, Dr. Tiffany, there's talk about a challenge, focusing on the topic and knowing that I can, fall back into you as a friend because I know that you love me and I know that you're a doctor, so you
Mhm.
understand the implications when an ultrasound requires you to stay
Mhm.
and not be able to leave. And doctors are talking to doctors. This happened in
Mhm.
1996 when I had DVT, the deep vein thrombosis that required me to not fly out on the following Monday to Singapore. So the PTSD around this is like, ah. But I'm so glad that I have this show to focus on and
The
not freak out.
distraction. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So we're going to take a quick break and news, weather, traffic here on the NBC News Radio channel, and also hear a word from our sponsor, and also find out what's going on with Tiffany these days. She referred to it at breakfast, but she gets to tell you exactly what she's doing. So we'll be right back. Don't go away for more. Take my advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. We'll be back in 2 and 2. Chuck Woolery is actually more like peace in, peace out. It'll be shorter than that. Don't go away.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
Hello, my name is Dr. Tiffanie Tate, and I am running for the United States House of Representatives. Please consider supporting me. You want me to run and win against Ken Calvert because I am a proven leader. You want me because I am an advocate for health care. I am an advocate for better jobs. I am an advocate for supporting your community in the 41st District. Consider supporting me, Dr. Tiffanie Tate, at Dr. Tate for Congress. That is DrTateForCongress.com. That's right, DrTateForCongress.com. Please visit my website, learn about my platform, support me so I can support you in your district, the 41st seat. DrTateForCongress.com. Thank you. Paid for by DrTateForCongress.com.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
And we're back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, home to the Asian Oprah, number one talk in the IE. Thank you very much. And streaming everywhere, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course, my YouTube TV channel, where if you free subscribe, give me the finger. This one, not the other one. You'll get an alert every weekday morning for a show that balances out all the bad news out there with some good news, good people, and great series. As you can tell from the studio, it is Wednesday because it's time for Doctors in the House with myself and
Dr. Tiffanie Tate.
welcome back to the show. And we're talking about love and friendship. Love and friendship.
That's
And I was
right.
just given something to focus on instead of, as you can tell, I am broadcasting live from my ultrasound location. And not only am I waiting for the radiologist to talk to my doctor because something is wrong with my leg, I get something good to focus on because just now I found out that when I was getting my ID out, I left my wallet with a lot of money from the sale at the front desk, and somebody noticed and alerted them. And so they have it. And
Oh, well,
I can
amen.
focus on how fortunate I am for really good, honest, and wonderful people here. So,
Praise God. Yes. Hallelujah.
exactly.
Thank you, Jesus.
Dr.
Yes.
Tiffany, what other research have you been doing
Yes.
for love and friendship?
Well, when it comes to friendship, they said that there are generally 5 C's of friendship. So I know we don't necessarily look at friendship that way. We just kind of let it happen organically. At least I do for the most part. I don't break friendship down into that. And they said we should look at friendship based on 5 C's. And there is communication, compatibility, commitment, care, and consistency. And so, communication, they say communication should be open and honest. And I believe that that's true. We want people to talk to us and speak to us candidly and not necessarily beat around the bush or tell us falsehoods. And I definitely want my friends to be trustworthy and honest and tell me the truth, and be candid. We want to be compatible. They don't necessarily have to be a clone because we don't necessarily want to be walking around like that commercial, same place, same thing, same place, same thing. But we want some shared values, some shared interests. We want comfortable connections, and we want our friendships to be enjoyable. You don't always want there to be conflict. You want to go to some things that you both like, have some mutual interest. You want commitment. You want your friendships to be there when you call. You want them to be there for you. You want to be there for them. You don't want to be ignored. Being ignored is not a good thing. You don't want your voicemails or texts to go unanswered. I think that that's not necessarily a good thing. Some people might construe that as being a little bit rude. You want people to be dependable, showing a willingness to invest time. Like I said, time is a resource that is irreplaceable. You can replace money, but you can't replace time. So we should invest our time wisely. And effort. Effort is the key. You have to put effort into any relationship if you want it to last and if you want it to be valuable. People want to be valued, whether it's your children, whether it's your partner, and if it's your friend. I think you have to value people. So we must value people, care. You have to display genuine concern, support your friend's well-being, offer support whether they're experiencing a challenging time or whether they're getting an award, if they're speaking. You want to show that you care. People like to feel valued. And it's not always monetary. It's not always bringing flowers or a card. It's just your time and consistency, regularly engaging with people, being present, maintaining reliable presence over time is important. So those are the 5 C's of friendship: communication, compatibility, commitment, care, and consistency. If you do that, whether it is a platonic friend, whether it is an intimate relationship, whether it's your family, I think those people will feel valued and it will enrich your experience. We can't hear you. You're muted, Dr. Marissa.
Sorry about that. It's not easy to mute me, too. Doesn't happen very often. But I wanted to add a C, which
Okay.
is carefrontation, conflict and
Mm,
carefrontation. People ask me about when you get in conflict with a friendship, do you, or a romantic relationship, when is that conflict a sign that it's over, that that chapter is over, versus when it is a sign of, I need to resolve or work through that conflict. So it's my rule is, if that relationship is important to you, then work through the conflict. The only caveat is it takes two to work through a conflict. And if one person doesn't want to work through the conflict and the other one
Mhm.
does, you don't have any control over that. And that's usually a sign that that chapter is finished, right? And you may come back and reread that chapter, but for the time being, that chapter is finished. The other caveat is if you're a person like me who doesn't like conflict, I'm really good at teaching you how to resolve your conflict, but myself, that's why the name of the show is Take My Advice, I'm not using it. But that the difficulty or the icky feeling
Mhm.
of going through that conflict, I recognize it's because of my upbringing. The conflict was dangerous. The conflict was um, very unpleasant. That is why I kind of, any sign of bickering, I'm out of there. I know that it would be good for me to strengthen my muscle and the ability to actually go through conflict so that I can try to get out the other side. Because most of the time, 88% of the time, if you do both care about the relationship and you work through the conflict, just like past the pain, there's power, past the conflict is camaraderie. That's my new little thing. So, CC, right? So if you can get through the conflict through a carefrontation,
Mhm.
then you'll have better camaraderie.
Yeah, I think it's important to make sure that you don't let issues fester, because when you do, you end up with resentment.
Mm,
And I think that that was one of the issues why we never really resolved anything with my friend. We just kind of let
mm,
our relationship fizzle because we never had that carefrontation. We
mm-hmm,
just kind of said, okay, whatever, hi, okay, hi, hi, bye, bye.
mm-hmm,
And there was no carefrontation. There was just dissolution of it.
mm-hmm,
And where I'm great friends with the other person. I mean,
mm-hmm,
we're still good friends. We're still best friends. But I think when you're moving forward, um, communication, and we always stress communication, communication, communication.
mm-hmm,
And when we talk about communication, and we talk about carefrontation, it's especially helpful for you, not necessarily for the other person, because when you keep these things bottled up inside and you don't resolve it, it affects you because you're hurting yourself and you have all these unresolved issues.
mm-hmm.
You can let it go, let it
Let it
go.
go. My
Um,
theme song.
Right, right, right. And so you can do that, but when you don't, it can definitely affect you.
For sure.
And
Not
uh,
just in your mood, but in your physical health. It's very clear. It used to be
mhm,
a hypothesis, but now medical research is very clear that stress and prolonged stress will mess up your immune system and your body's ability to have good health and well-being. So you, and I'm sure you've brought this up before, that adage, resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other
mhm,
person to die. My version
absolutely.
of that is, I hate you so much I don't want to look at you. So what am I going to do? I'm going to gouge out my own eyes so I
Yeah,
can't see you, but then I can't see anything, which is kind of
absolutely.
silly. Yeah.
Mhm.
So forgiveness, radical forgiveness, supreme forgiveness is loving yourself enough that you don't hate.
Absolutely. And like I said, it's important to have relationships. I believe one study showed that individuals, middle-aged adults living alone, were 24% more likely to die than their counterparts who live with someone. And so that's why it's important to have relationships and bond with other people, because these things affect your health. And so we
So
want to.
is that a commercial for romantic relationships then? Because you
I,
don't necessarily live with your platonic relationships.
well, I'm not advertising anything. Let
Okay,
me
because
just
you're
put this
talking
out
to
there.
single, happily divorced women here.
Yes, but right now my kids are living with me, so I technically don't live alone, and I have a dog. I have
Oh,
Mickey Jack, so I'm not
so
technically
I'm
living
screwed. I
alone.
don't got anything like that. I have,
So
well, I keep saying I'm not going to get a dog because then I'll never date again. But I'm not dating anymore anyway.
so
So,
let me put this out there. I am not advocating for relationships. I'm just giving. I'm stating the research, people. I'm just stating the research. I'm not advertising for relationships. I'm just stating the research. Let me put it out there. I'm
all
giving
right.
it.
All right.
Do
I hear
do
you.
with it as you may.
And I'm
I'm
not why I can't see from my remote studio whether there's
okay.
comments. So I'm going to
Yes,
let
well,
you
we
keep
have we
looking
have
there.
LOL, LOL, LOL.
Oh, I
She
like
is
it. I
laughing at
like
us.
it because
Yes,
laughter's my favorite sound
yes,
in life. So thank you for the la 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 la's.
yes,
Okay, so you were talking about research. Keep going.
yes, yes. So basically, I think the important thing is that my recommendation is that we start with friendship. That's my medical recommendation is to start with friendship.
Uh
So
huh. Okay.
yes, yes. So
Not a relationship, just friendship.
yes,
You can move in with your best friend.
yes. Let's just start with there. Let's just start right there. And so before we go anywhere, let's just start with friendship and let's see where that blossoms, because we also know that people who associate with other people have a better quality of life and have are healthier as well, as opposed to people who are loners. And that is also what the research shows. So
Got it.
I'm going to put that out
So,
there.
all right. Well, I have to say now to balance out what I said before the break around my own, you know, dis-ease sometimes with the concept of a best friend, or someone who is like you do everything together, or all of that is that uh, I realized that I do have with all of my friendships, if you put them together, it all adds up to that concept of a best friend, that you can actually have what you want in a variety of people. So I have great you know, events that I go to and enjoy with friends like you, right? So that going out, even though we live far apart, uh, we do plan things to go to together, like the Long Beach Jazz Festival, which I don't know if you saw the promo from yesterday for the show today, is, our dancing there. That was fun. And then I have another friend that I watch series with, and her boyfriend thinks it's super cute because we'll get on the phone and time it so we're watching the exact same thing at the same time. And then I did this with my daughter where we'll actually stay on the phone and we'll go, oh my goodness, did you see that? And just as if we're like together, but she's in San Francisco, but my girlfriend lives in Los Al. So we do it and she can't focus by talking. So we hang up and we text each other our reactions to make sure we are on time. I'm all set? Oh, good. So I don't have to go back in? Uh-oh.
Hi.
Hi.
I was actually about to call you.
Oh, good.
Do you mind coming to my office?
Okay. Dr. Tiffany, you're going to have to close out.
Okay.
Thank you so much, everyone. I will be back tomorrow with Straight Talk. But Dr. Tiffany,
Okay.
take the rest of the show. Thanks so much.
Okay. All right.
And it's all about balance. Peace in, peace out, world peace
Peace
through
in,
inner
peace out.
peace.
Okay. All righty. So that's Dr. Marissa signing out. And I will finish up and I will talk about the few final words. Basically, when you're looking at friendship and love, I think usually you want to make sure you don't lose yourself in your friendship. You want to make sure you continue to value yourself. And a good friend is defined by trustworthiness, reliability, and supportiveness. You can confide in them, they can confide in you. You can rely on them, they can rely on you. But you also want to share some common interests, like we said before. And I believe the most important thing is as simple as they said in Toy Story: is that you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me, and I got a friend in you. And you want there to be that mutual respect. And as we reflect on our lives and we look back at all of the friends that we've had in our lives, we have had at least one friend. And I think that as we go through the panel of everything that has happened, we can always be thankful for somebody in our lives that has had an impact on us. And I think that friendship is a beautiful thing. We always look at trust, loyalty, respect, reliability, empathy, and enjoyability of people. And people are beautiful. I love people, and I have a heart for service. I have a heart for serving people, and a lot of people consider me a bleeding heart sap, but I don't consider myself that completely. I think that giving my heart to people is a significant and enjoyable thing to do. And if I can change the world and make it a better place, I think it's a wonderful thing. And when I look at my relationship with all of my friends throughout my life, they know that they can call on me. They know that they can rely on me. And it doesn't matter the degree of friendship that they have with me, they know that I am a giver and that they can call on me. I have friendships from, like I said, from elementary school to medical school, and they know how to reach me. I've had the same number forever, whether they reach me through social media, if they've lost contact with me, they know how to get in contact with me. And so I think you need to reevaluate yourself. I think the Bible says that he who wants a friend needs to show themselves friendly. So if you want to see more smiles at people, I think Steve Harvey said you need to smile at people. If you want people to shake your hand, you need to extend your hand to be shook. And you may not want to shake everyone's hand, but I think you need to be a friendly person if you want more friends. And I think that that's how the world should be. If you want the world to be a better place, you need to be a better person. And I think it's a reflexive thing. Soften your heart a little bit and don't be so hard. We need to put more kindness in humankind. I'm a veteran officer of the United States Navy. I am a leader, and I believe we need to lead by example. It should go from the top down. And I think that that's how we can do things. We need to be the change in this world. So that's my final word as we begin to tune out the show. So I'm Dr. Tiffanie Tate, board certified OBGYN, asking you to be more friendly, asking you to reflect on the friends that you have, to value them, to treat them the way that you want to be treated, and to look at your associates, because everyone you call a friend is not necessarily your friend, but you can be the example that you want them to be so that they can see what a true friend is. This is Dr. Tiffanie Tate asking you to go and have the best day ever. This is Dr. Tiffanie Tate and Dr. Marissa signing off. See you tomorrow.